What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode. And we are back, and it's been a little while. It's been highly requested in the comments, and finally career mode is back and up and running. Now this will be a temporary episode. This probably won't be back on the channel for a couple more days, but basically I'll be making a video referring to my situation. I think hopefully maybe either tomorrow or the day after, but essentially this is probably my last week of these dodgy uploads, and then basically from this time next week we should be back on the daily upload hype. But I'll keep you posted, and like I said, I'll make a follow-up video to this probably in the next day or two, depending on when I get time, and I'll let you guys know. But nonetheless, we're going to focus on this video here today, and on this particular episode we are here for round 3 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And so far we are in desperate need of a result, because so far after 2 races in this season 6 we have scored 0 points. So the pressure's on going into the desert here at Bahrain, and we've got to try and desperately get a few points on the board to try and kickstart our season, which, you know, this year we are supposedly going for the World Drivers' Championship, so we really need to try and get our season back on track and up and running. So as you saw just before in practice, we had a few struggles, and it wasn't the best practice session, but still nonetheless it was pretty good. And then we moved into qualifying, and in Q1 we only managed 13th on super softs in our first run, which was a little bit concerning. Also seeing Massa in P9 there, I realised I was a little bit off the pace, and in Q2 I went out for a run on the slower soft compound tyres, and I quickly realised that these tyres would not be enough, as we could only manage P11. So I came back in, strapped on the red super soft tyres, and we're going to go straight back out for another attempt, and this will be my final attempt of the session. And straight away through the first sector, purple through there, so really good way to start off the lap. And then into the second sector now, or the end of the second sector should I say, and we actually only drop a couple of tenths. So far this lap's off to a very good start, and only one more sector to go now as we go through the final corner. And basically it's critical to get good traction out of here as we now open up the DRS here, and we're going to see whether that puts us across the line, and is it going to be enough to give us a Q3 position. The answer is yes, it is. So P9, and that's going to see us through into the final part of qualifying. So overall, a pretty good Q2 session. We just about narrowly avoid the drop, and also Massa just creeps in there in P10. We just about beat our teammate Sebastian Vettel, the only man opting for the slower tyre in this session. But overall I was quite impressed, to be fair, and we managed to get quite comfortably, I'd say, by quite a few tenths over Alonso there into Q3. And based off of Q1 I was a little bit concerned, but luckily we managed to find some time in the Q2 session. And it seemed like as basically the session got darker, the better the car fell, as we now move into Q3, and we're going to ride on board for my best lap of the session. And there's only one attempt, as I wanted to save a few tyres for the race tomorrow on a possible strategy. But straight away through the first corner, 1, 2 and 3, as we now make our way up into turn 4, spotting the 100-metre board, braking just after it down a 4th gear, picking up the apex, and then squatting on the throttle on the exit there, making sure you don't lose the back end as we now go into turns 5, 6 and 7. This sort of twisty section now that feeds into the start of the second sector as we now bring it down for the hairpin here. Very tricky corner and very easy to understeer wide as we now get onto the power, and we go from turn 9 into turn 10. Very tricky corner, one of the hardest braking zones in Formula 1. Very easy to lock up the left front, but we get it absolutely perfect, and we then open up the DRS onto the back straight, going up through the gears. And we're now basically waiting for the next break point, and we're going to try and ease the car over to the right hand side, down a 5th gear, pick up your apex, and use all the width of the track available to you as you now flick it right over the hill and across the second sector split and into the next right hander here in 4th gear. Trying to look for the apex, and also here very important once again to pick up the traction, as this is a pretty long straight and it's going to dictate your straight line speed and overall quite a big chunk of your lap time. As we now go into the final corner, Perez goes fastest of everybody, so Sergio Perez on provisional pole. We lose the back end a little bit on the exit there, a little bit of a tank slapper unfortunately, which is going to cost us maybe half a tenth, but across the line. And the question is, where is the lap going to put us? It was a pretty good lap, to be fair, and it's going to be P9, and to say that was only one attempt, I was very happy with that, because I was definitely on the limit. You know, I was pushing hard. In Q2, I thought that was the best it could have got, and to be fair, it probably was. Realistically, me and Massa are just a little bit too far behind, and their overall pace is not great. We are a couple of upgrades away of really closing that gap, and if you look at the rest of the the top 8 sort of thing, they're all really close, but me and Massa are just we're just a world apart from the other guys. So we've got some work to do to try and improve this car, but still P9 around a track that does traditionally more often than not be a bit more of an AI OP track. I'm quite happy with that, and Perez manages to beat the Ferrari, so very impressive result there from the Mexican. But overall, that was Saturday qualifying here at Bahrain, and we are now going to move into Sunday for round number 3 for the race. Right then, it's race day at Bahrain, and we're starting from 9th place on the grid, as you saw in qualifying. A bit of a dodgy one and a bit of a mixed bag, and not really the best position to start from, to be honest, considering the strategy from P11 and also the tyre wear. But, you know, we're going to try our best. Hopefully we can have a good race. Realistically, I want to try and beat both of the Red Bulls. That would be a good result, in my opinion. I don't think we can beat the Force Indias, the Ferraris, or the Mercedes, but... we'll see how it goes. I think the Red Bulls are a target that we can try and beat. And to be honest, if I got anything above 9th place, that would also be a good achievement around here, because this is a track where the AI tend to be a little bit quicker than other tracks. So really, any good result here is any points here is a good result. But in terms of the race itself, we're going to look at the race strategy. And as you can see, I've customized my one to go for a 2-stop, which I'm going to try and pull off. Tyre is going to be very high based off of this, so we've got to be ready. I'm hoping as we delve into the night time, the tyre wear should improve. So hopefully, if we can just get this first in out on length a little bit and try and get to lap 8 instead of lap 7, then we'll be looking pretty good. But overall, the 2-stop is going to be the strategy for today, so let's hope it works out for us. So without further ado, we are now going to jump straight into the race for round number 3 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. We're going to get ready for the 5 red lights for Bahrain. And it's lights out and away we go. Very quick lights there, and it's a pretty average start, to be fair. A lot of wheel spin. I'm going to try and cover the inside so that way I can hold on to my position. We've got Magnussen off to a very fast start. We're into turn 1, very late on the brakes, trying to get out the inside of Max Verstappen here. And we're currently on the outside of the Dutchman, going through turn 2, very close to Esteban Ocon. Yellow flags behind. Ricciardo's going to get boxed in here. Ocon going for the overtake. I'm going to pull to the inside and make it 3 wide here. And also VSC deployed as we make a move on Bottas there. But have we actually made that one work? Did we get ahead of Bottas? I thought I'd give the position back, but apparently not. I accidentally made the move on Bottas here, trying to get past Ocon and Ricciardo, and we've made the move. So, wow, okay, I'll take that. That is very good for us. So, I could have sworn I passed Bottas after the VSC, but obviously not. So that is good news for us. So we're now in P5, so we can continue on with this race here and try and see what our pace is like as I lock up into the hairpin for the first time. Let's see how long we can hold on to this P5. Bottas will inevitably pass me probably, as will Ocon. I think he'll also pass me pretty soon, but let's see how this race unfolds. We are ahead of both of the Red Bulls, which is what I want, so let's try and settle into this race a bit and try and see what our pace is like. We've got pit stoppers on lap 1. I think both of the Ferraris have just come into the pit lane. That is very weird. Vettel on the softs has come in, and so has Kimi Raikkonen. So we're now up into 3rd place. So both Ferraris in on lap 1. That is extremely odd. I don't know what the Ferraris are going for there, but I'm not going to complain. I'll take it. Maybe some sort of weird strategy from the Ferraris, but I've never ever seen something like that before in an F1 game. But either way, we are somehow into P3 now. So let's see if we can try and hold on to this for as long as we can. I don't think we're going to get the podium, but like I said, we need this bit of luck sort of thing to happen for us so we can have a good race here today. So let's see how our pace is like. Okay, on to lap number 4, and DRS has been enabled now for a lap, but Bottas just doesn't seem to be getting close enough to really make an overtake. He just doesn't have the straight line speed on me. Instead, it's Ocon who seems to have the pace in the Force India, which isn't surprising considering his teammate Perez is setting the tone up front for Force India. So so far, very open race. We are sort of holding our own. I've also got very low wings, as you guys already know, so that is giving me some very good straight line speed. I think I'm running like 5.5 aero, so I've got a better straight line speed than you would normally run around here, because I've tailored this car to suit its strengths rather than its weaknesses, which in this case its strength is its straight line speed. So we're basically using that to try and defend ourselves, which is the plan. But Bottas has managed to stay ahead of Ocon here, but that's bought me a little bit of time and to possibly try and shake them off from DRS. But obviously that's going to be pretty hard to do because their pace is just so good as we lock up into the hairpin. Also, my accelerator is sticking a little bit. Is a problem I've got with my pedals. So when I'm braking, I'm still actually accelerating a little bit, which is slightly annoying because it means I'm running deep into a lot of corners here. So it's something I need to fix. Either way, let's keep going here. We're looking good so far. Okay, on to lap number 5, and Bottas is very close, but he's still not close enough to make the move, and he can't just get past me. He's struggling. Right, Valtteri is really close this time, and surely he's going to go for the move. I don't want to fight him too hard because it's not really my battle to fight. So Valtteri's going to go for the move up the inside. I'm going to hang around the outside of turn 1 here, which I feel pretty confident in doing. And there we go. We're going to hold on for now, squeeze him out on the exit of 2, and that is us still in 3rd place. I think I can definitely race Bottas here. As the more the laps go on, the more I'm sort of getting more confidence. Ocon has come in, so he's going for, I think, a 3-star strategy, or at least a 2. I don't know. The strategies are they're going to be quite open here today. I think tyre wear is definitely a theme for a lot of guys. So with that in mind, we've got to try and base our strategy around that. So far, I am scheduled to come in on lap 7, but I can definitely, I think, eat these tyres out for a little bit longer here. Tyre wear is not as bad as I thought so far. Okay, we've got cars in the pit lane there. Hamilton and looks like Perez are both in the pit lane. Bottas is approaching, so I'm going to go defensive here and show him the outside this time, because I'll be in the net race lead. Or not the net race lead, but I'll be in the race lead, sorry, if I can hold on to this. Bottas has swung back underneath me there beautifully, and he's made it move. Oh, that's very close. I was going to say he's made it work, but we're right he's chuffed. We're going to pull to the inside of Verstappen, also there for companies. We got the inside of Valtteri into turn 4. Can we pull it off? Running it very wide on purpose to try and force him out, and there we go. We've held on to first place here, and I don't know how that's happened, but we're in the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix for now. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to change my strategy, and my first stop is going to be for soft compound tyres. Bottas comes in, tyre wear is okay for now. We are running solo at the moment in first place. I'm going to come in at the end of this lap, so I've got to make sure this lap is good to respond to Bottas, but I'm going to switch to the softs on my next stint, because if I can do 8 laps on used super softs, I've done a qualifying lap, I'm pretty sure I can do about 10 laps on softs. So let's try and get this car in this lap, switch our strategy to 2 soft tyre stints, and try and see what we can do damage wise for the rest of this race. Right, so we're going to get ready then for our first of hopefully 2 stops this race. Through the final corner, getting the power on, we're going to pull over to the right hand side, and let's try and make this as efficient as possible pit entry here. We've got Perez in P3, who's obviously done a stop already, so he's going to re-inherit the race lead. I can see him winning the whole thing, to be honest. His pace is pretty good. He is on super softs though, so that could be interesting for the strategy. But here we go, nice quick stop hopefully from the boys. 2.3, not too shabby. Onto softs, there's Hamilton, so he's gone by. We're currently in what would be 3rd place, as we've got more cars, then Ocon going by as well. So we're down a few places, but we're still holding on here. There's Felipe, so we're behind our teammate, and definitely staying out on those tyres hurt us. There's Bottas, so he's also jumped us. Can we stay ahead of Ricciardo though? He's on my right hand side. We're going to give him a little squeeze into turn 1. He's going to be on my inside through turn 2. We're going to go around the outside, and there we go. That is absolutely brilliant. So we've lost the place to Bottas. That's not too bad, because obviously strategy wise we've got our tyres on 1 lap pressure, and I don't think we can keep up in terms of pace, but I think we can keep him in our sights, and also he's going to have to pass other cars in the process on different strategies. But I think he'll be on mediums in that last stint, which is something I've got to keep in mind. So if I can make these tyres last, I think the tyre advantage will be mine in the final stint of the race. Right then, Van Dorn and I think Lance Stroll are in the pit lane. No, Carlos Sainz. So there we go. We're now up into P6, and Ricciardo's behind me, but apparently he has a penalty. So that's going to be him with a time penalty for the rest of the Grand Prix. So we can not have to worry about him too much. But right now, I believe this is a net P6. Obviously that remains to be seen where the Ferraris end up into all of this, but so far we're looking pretty good. Okay, so race leader Sergio Perez with car troubles. That's going to be very interesting for the rest of us, as he's going to start dropping through the field here. So that could be a possible another position for us, but that's very unfortunate for the race leader, who has dominated this entire race weekend. Okay, Felipe Massa, my teammate, in the pit lane, and I've just set my personal best. I think that's my 4th personal best in a row. Every lap just improving, but just 10th by 10th here and there. But I'm always finding time at the minute, which is good news for my overall race pace. But we're currently having a P5. I think Massa's on a 3 stop, so keeping that in mind, a P5 could be possible this race, depending on where the Ferraris are. I'm definitely quite comfortable keeping the Red Bulls behind me for now, but Ricciardo is right there, so one mistake and I'm going to be in trouble. But for now, the Red Bulls are being tamed. Okay, we're just behind Sergio Perez. We just rejoined the track on another set of cold super softs. So Perez definitely had a few super softs left over from qualifying, but that's his 2nd stop of the race. I think he's got 1 more to go. Whether he's still got car trouble or not, we are yet to find out. But Perez on fresh supers, I'm expecting him to fully pull away, but that's definitely quite interesting in terms of the race lead. Obviously, will he still win on an extra stop? We'll have to wait and see, because the Force India is quite surprising, because that car doesn't have that much tyre wear. It's probably one of the better cars, to be fair. Right, we've got more cars in the pit lane, all of them coming onto mediums, I'm guessing. So they go into the end basically on those tyres, and I'm not going to lie, this is my scheduled pit lap, and I don't actually have any soft tyres left in terms of fresh ones. So it's either coming for mediums this lap, or I stay until lap 20 and go to super softs. And to be honest, right now, that's what I'm leaning towards, because my tyre wear isn't that bad on these tyres, and I think I can probably make it quite comfortably. I'll show you guys now. As you can see, my most one tyre on 39, I think I can probably make it to lap 20, so I think that's what I'm going to go for. Okay, Verstappen and Valtteri also come in. I'm going to guess they're both going on to medium, so Verstappen will probably undercut me now, but I'll have the benefit of super softs compared to his mediums in a few laps time. Oh, we got a yellow flag, slow moving car, Julian Palmer going slowly on the back straight there. I'm guessing some sort of maybe tyre puncture or something, but we're still in second here. Hamilton is catching me, but we're coming in at the end of the next lap, so one more lap to go on these tyres. Okay, then finally we've put in a staggering 11 laps on these tyres, really put them through their paces, but we are now going to finally come in and get off these tyres. Actually, no, it's 12 laps, I think, either way. We are going to come off these now and come in for a lovely brand new set of super softs. There is a tyre where, as you can see, not too bad to be fair to say, it's a soft compound tyre. We definitely did the mileage with it, but we're going to get underway. 2-second pit stop there and onto fresh super soft. So let's see how the rest of this race unfolds. We are currently in P6. Verstappen, I'm going to presume, is going to jump me, and there's a few more cars with him. I think that might be Ricciardo following him, possibly. Yes, it is, but we're going to rejoin right behind the Red Bulls on fresh super softs. Now, in theory, I should have the pace over those guys, and the question is, will Massa also come in? I think the potential is there for a 5th place finish, but I'm going to have to be absolutely perfect in the remaining laps of this Grand Prix, so let's go get it. Okay, Felipe is indeed in the pit lane, so that's going to promote us up into P7, so there we go. Now the question is, can we get both of the Red Bulls? Rich Mix is enabled, so let's go after it. Right then, personal best 2 seconds faster than my previous one, and the Red Bulls are scrapping it out for P5, which is absolutely perfect for me, so let's try and go full attack mode and try and capitalise from this battle. Ricciardo and Verstappen are really holding each other up here, and Ricciardo's actually passed and re-overtaken Verstappen, but I'm going to be on the back of the Dutchman now. On these fresh super softs, we're going to go for the lunge because of the grip difference, and look at the grip, it's just absolutely brilliant. We've just held it on the inside beautifully, and we're up into P6. Up next, Daniel Ricciardo, who I don't think will be too complicated to overtake. Right, onto the pit straight. I'm now out of Rich Mix. I'm keeping it in there though, and along with the DRS to try and make a combined effort to pass Ricciardo. And look at the straight line speed we have. Absolutely incredible straight line speed. And we've made the overtake absolutely brilliant. And we're up into P5, and that is exactly where I want to be. I said I wanted to beat the Red Bulls, and that's exactly what I want to do. So right now we're in P5, and this would be a brilliant finishing position if we could finish here. And considering the tyre strategy we've managed to pull off here today with a super soft, super soft, and in the process, thanks to the 2 Ferraris jumping out of the ship, we are going to beat the Red Bulls and get a brilliant amount of points if we can just bring it home. So let's focus now for the remaining laps in standard mix, and also keep an eye on the tyres and try and bring this car home in this position and defend from Ricciardo if necessary, I think, in the closing stages, because I think maybe around the last lap or the last couple of laps the Red Bulls might come back into it thanks to their tyres, but let's try and hold on to this now. It's absolutely critical we bring these points home. Okay, on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Ricciardo is behind me, but he's not close enough. I've comfortably been able to manage the gap, and it looks like we are going to bring this one home unless a major mistake is committed. So let's focus. One more lap to go here, but it looks like it's looking a pretty good P5 for us, something I did not expect at the start of this episode. Okay, Lewis Hamilton wins it in the desert, and we're going to go through the final corner now for the final time, and it looks like we are going to finish in 5th place. I think Perez probably got 2nd, but here we go, across the checkered flag, across the line, and it's 5th place for us in Bahrain. Absolutely brilliant result. Really had to work hard for that one, and I did not expect that after a week without racing in career mode, over a week actually, and that was only the practice and qualifying. I think to when I recorded China, it's been at least 2 weeks. So that was a very good result for me, and very happy with that race. One of my better performances. Also an opportunist of sorts, basically capitalising for a change on Ferrari's dodgy strategy and the fact they pitted both cars on lap 1. And sometimes in the past I might have bottled that strategy and they might have finished ahead of me, but I took it upon myself, also combined with my tyre strategy and the risks I took to try and, make that basically their mistake my win, my gain. So, overall, very happy with that. And a P5, something I did not expect going into this race weekend. And it's actually Ocon who got 2nd. So double podium for Force India there behind Lewis Hamilton, who takes the victory in the desert. But overall, an absolutely brilliant race here in Bahrain this weekend. A really good result for us in the championship. And I believe our first points of the season, I actually can't remember, it's been that long. But I think in Australia and China, we didn't score points. But either way, we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructors standings, to see how everything shapes up after that crazy race. Right, looking at the final race results, Lewis Hamilton wins at Bahrain ahead of Esteban Ocon and Sergio Perez, who join him on the podium. Valtteri Bottas gets P4 for Mercedes there, and we come home in a brilliant P5 ahead of Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo. Nico Hulkenberg and Massa and Kevin Magnussen round up the points, all recovering from lower positions, while Fernando Alonso just misses out there in P11. Further down the order though, here's the big news. No retirements, but look at this. Sebastian Vettel in P15 and Kimi Raikkonen in P17. Both of them only on two-stop strategies, but based off of what I see in the replay cams, Raikkonen had a car issue midway through the race, and basically also I think it was a penalty earlier on, which I'll show you in a moment, and also Vettel came in. He got contact with Palmer, as you saw in the video, and basically he came in for the pit stop, but he never actually replaced his front wing. So bit of an odd one there. But if we look at the race director, I think you'll find there you go, speeding under VSC, Sebastian Vettel and Kimi Raikkonen, both of them speeding there in that first lap incident. So something for those guys to obviously keep in mind for the next race. But if we do look at the driver standings after that race, Lewis Hamilton takes the championship lead ahead of Esteban Ocon, and Vettel is 22 points adrift, while Raikkonen is 22 points behind. So the Ferraris off to a sluggish start this season, and we get our first points of the season, jumping all the way up to P8 alongside our teammate Felipe Massa there. But in terms of the constructors, Mercedes and Force India overtake Ferrari and extend their lead, and Ferrari drop down to third place, so a disappointing one for them. And we actually jump McLaren, so we go up into fifth place there, as I bring my first 10 points to the table as a member of Williams this season. But we're now going to jump into the laptop, because I believe we might purchase a couple of upgrades. Okay, so what I've decided is, it's about time we actually step things up, and due to the lack of recording and also time away from this career mode, I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I've decided that, you know, if we look at the aero, all we've got left is major upgrades, or shall I say ultimate upgrades. And if we look at the chassis, we do have a few minor ones there to complete, as you can see there in the middle, but I've realised, why don't we just, you know, build around this car and build to its strength, which is straight line speed and engine power. So what we're going to do is, we're going to buy an engine power upgrade for Russia, and we are going to get a second one as well for fuel consumption, also to improve the engine. And that's going to give us pretty much all the points that we have, and that should take us above everybody and make us the most powerful car in a straight line. Because the logic behind my approach is, if we make this car the most powerful it can be in a straight line, or at least much more powerful than what it is, then we can then run much higher aerodynamics, which will make up for our lack of aero while still maintaining a good straight line speed. And this would be a far more cheaper option and much more affordable one going forward. As you can see, the options we have here are way more varied compared to the others. So I think this is a good approach. Let me know in the comments down below if you agree with me or not. But a double upgrade arriving for the next race in Sochi, so keep an eye out for that one, and that should give us a nice little performance boost, pulling away from Renault there. But hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode. If you have, then please do slap a like on the video. Let's try and smash 250 likes for this episode, guys, for the return of Career Mode. Also, subscribe to my channel if you're new around here, and also please be sure to do check out these videos on screen if you have missed them by chance, the first two races of the season. And also please be sure to check out GT Omega in the links down below in the description. Use the code TOM97 for a 5% discount on any of your purchases. But other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Let's see my next video very soon. Goodbye.